What is going on, guys? This is Crozin, and welcome to another Starfield build. This one I call the Acrobatic Super Soldier, and it's essentially that. You're going to have enormous hops, you're going to be able to hover while you use your boost pack, and slow down time while you aim, and you can basically never run out of oxygen with this build. So I wanted to have all of those things, combine them all into one build, while still having like a soldier style RP. And that's what this build is. It's basically like a run and gun type of build, except rather than running, you're jumping. So it's like a jump and gun type of build, and it works out really well. You have great damage on all your weapons, you have good survivability, and it's just a lot of fun. And yeah, I wanted to showcase this build to you guys at level 60. That way you get a good understanding of not only how to start this build, but how you're going to start leveling up into mid game and also late game as well. So the first step is to select our background, and being that this is called an Acrobatic Super Soldier, I think it's pretty evident that we're going to go with a soldier background. They start out with 3 really good starting skills that we're going to level up anyway, so it works out in the end. And then for traits, I recommend going with Dream Home, Hero Worshipped, and United Colonies Native. United Colonies Native is going to give you that nice trait for like a military style background. And then, Hero Worshipped, we gotta love the Adoring Fan, and we get a Dream Home as well. The only other ones that I could recommend here is if you don't want Dream Home or Hero Worshipped, you could go for Kid Stuff. And then if you don't want to go with United Colonies, you could go for Freestar Collective. So those are your choices. So you could either go Dream Home, Hero Worshipped, Kid Stuff, and then for the last trait, either pick United Colonies or Freestar Collective. The next step is to finally start mapping out our skill trees. So I'm going to show you guys every skill tree here and try to recommend the best ones to get early. Since we are very reliant on boost packs with this build, Tech Tree is going to be the one we want to start putting most of our points in early. So we're going to go for boost pack training. We want to max this out. Then we also want to go for piloting, max piloting out. Go for 3 points in security. This way you can basically hack master level locks. So anything that's a locked door, locked chest, you won't be limited to not being able to use those. And then also go for 2 points in targeting control systems. I feel like that's all you need, at least until you get to level 60. I mean, once you're beyond level 60, you probably want to max this out anyway. But the first 2 points are really significant and something that you should get early on. And then we go into Starship Design, and we want to max this out so that way we get the best customizations for our ships. But what I would do, I would focus on getting 12 points into any of these categories here first. And as soon as you hit 12 points, go straight for Boost Assault Training. This is really going to change the way you play this build. And it's just an amazing perk. It's so fun to use this thing because it basically allows you to hover in place while you aim down sights, and then also time slows around you. So it's just an amazing perk. And yeah, if you can get this pretty early in the game, after you get 12 points into the tech tree, it's really going to help you out and start getting you in the right direction with this build. There's a lot of ways to use Boost Assault Training. I would recommend to only jump and aim down sights, and that way you get the slowdown effect. Because sometimes if you try to use Boost Assault Training while you're like way up in the air, and let's say you run out of fuel, then sometimes you could break some limbs and break some legs. So you don't really want to go too high with this whenever you're aiming down sights. You want to make sure that you got some kind of ground level close to you, so that way you don't break any limbs or anything like that. But yeah, it's an amazing perk. You just gotta play around with it a little bit, understand how it's used, and make sure that you don't go too high while slowing down time. The next tree we're going to focus on is the physical tree, and the main thing we want here is the max rank in gymnastics. That is going to give us an increased jump height, and it's going to synergize really well with all of our boost pack skills that we have. So main thing that we're going to look at is trying to get 4 points into this initial tier and then go straight into gymnastics and maxing that out. So we could get 4 points in a variety of ways. You already start with 1 point in fitness because of the soldier background, so you could just go straight into 3 more points here, max out fitness. You also have the option of maxing out wellness, that way you increase your max HP by 40%. We also want to get 1 point into stealth. This is mainly just to unlock the stealth meter. We're not really going to be focusing on stealth attacks with this build, but we just want to have the stealth meter in case we need it for any kind of quest or anything like that. So what I would do, try to get 4 points in any of these categories up here, then go straight for gymnastics and focus on that. Another thing that I want to touch on is rejuvenation. I really wanted to add this to this build, but this perk is actually broken right now. It doesn't heal you while you're in combat, so these last 2 ranks don't work. So I had to change this build up a little bit, and I added more combat skills because this didn't work. But if this ever gets patched in the future, what you could do is, since you already have 12 points with all of these other physical skills, you could also go for rejuvenation with this build. The next tree we're going to look at is the combat tree, and there's one perk that we can start leveling up really early, and that is ballistics. We already start with 1 rank in this being a soldier, so we only need to level this up 3 times, and it's going to give you good damage on all ballistic weapons, so you probably want to level this one up early. As far as the other ones, you don't have to focus on them early. I feel like it's just up to you whenever you decide to level up or focus on specific weapon types. I go for rifle certification and shotgun certification, but you can pick any 2 different types of weapons that you enjoy. So if you like heavy weapons, go for that. You know, if you like pistols, you could go for that too. But rifles and shotguns are my preference in this game. For rifle certification, you don't have to max this out. The last rank really isn't going to be of use for us, mainly because we're never going to be standing still. And also, we're going to have rapid reloading anyway, which is going to reload all ballistic weapons 30% faster. So you only need to focus on 3 ranks for rifles. And then shotguns, I just maxed that out for the additional chance to stun targets. And then from there, once you have 12 points, you could go for armor penetration. I only go for 3 ranks in this. The 4th rank isn't bad, but I feel like the 3rd rank is really what brings you to this perk, and that's, you know, ignoring 50% of a target's armor. So the last rank, you could probably level that up after level 60. And then another one is sharpshooting. Now, I initially wasn't going to use sharpshooting on this build. That is what I was telling you guys about rejuvenation, but since that perk is broken, I put those 4 points into sharpshooting instead. So if that perk ever gets fixed, then I would swap these 4 points out of sharpshooting and put them in rejuvenation. But sharpshooting isn't a bad perk. I just think that armor penetration is just a little bit better. The next tree is the science tree, and we're only going to max out research methods in order to unlock weapon engineering. This way we can craft our own master level weapon mods, and it's really up to you when you get this. There's a lot of weapons that don't require weapon engineering, so this is more just like a quality of life type of thing. Like, let's say you find a really good weapon and it's just missing like 1 or 2 different mods where weapon engineering could come into play at, but I would just focus on this whenever you have some free points to spend. Just keep in mind, you know, tech, physical, and combat, I feel like those are more important than getting this, but at some point you want to get weapon engineering, and then at least it opens up the doors for getting outpost engineering after level 60. Another one to give some shout out to would have to be surveying here. Surveying isn't a bad perk, but it's not necessarily great either for all that it provides you. So if you're surveying a lot, if you like to survey a lot of different planets and moons, then you could probably pick this up as well. The last tree, and certainly the least, is the social tree. All we're going to do here is just get 1 point into theft in order to unlock the pickpocketing. And you could disregard manipulation, that was just from a quest, but the social tree is just one of those trees that you either have to invest heavily into it or don't invest at all. And that's because a lot of these initial perks are just so bad. You know, you don't need commerce, credits are readily available to you. You don't need food or drinks, you don't need scavenging. Persuasion already has items to enhance it. So unless you're maxing persuasion out and getting the 50% boost, you're not really going to see a huge increase. And because of that, I don't really invest in most builds into the social tree unless I'm making a build based around the social tree. I mean, that's probably the only time I would invest heavily into this. But if you really wanted to, you could go for 4 points into persuasion. That's really the only thing I could see of being a huge benefit, at least in the first tier. So another thing that I want to touch on real quick is just what type of boost pack that you want to have. And initially I thought power boost packs were the best until I discovered that you can thrust forward with balanced boost packs. So in order to thrust forward, if you're on PC, what you can do is you could go into your bindings and make sure that you have an alternate key for your jump. So I just have mine at mouse 5. So what this will do is, if you guys take a look, this is my normal thrust. I'm thrusting upward every time. Okay, so if I actually do my alternate key instead, now I'm thrusting forward. And it's a huge difference. And I don't know if this is a bug, if this is intended. It doesn't work with every boost pack. It works with the skip boost packs, the basic, and the balanced, I think. But balance gives you at least enough of height, whereas skip doesn't do that. So I would recommend balanced boost packs. You know, unfortunately, power boost packs don't work with that. But yeah, just a little quick tip there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Acrobatic Super Soldier, and yeah, this one was a lot of fun to make, and I really recommend you guys to give this one a try. If you like a jump and gun type of build, and you want something a little bit different with a soldier background, then this is the build for you. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching this to the end. Let me know if you want to see any more builds. Give me an actual specific build that you would like to see, and yeah, I might go around towards making it. So appreciate you guys sticking till the end, and I will see you in the next one.